Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Janna Vallabha Girivana Dari Gopi Janna Vallabha Girivana Dari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Janna Vallabha Girivana Dari Gopi Janna Vallabha Girivana Dari Sodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Jasodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Janna Vallabha Girivana Dari Gopi Janna Vallabha Girivana Dari Sodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Jasodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Tira Jamunatira vanachari. Jamunatira vanachari. Jamunatira vanachari. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Pravajakacharya Astatir Srimad. His Divine Grace, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada Ki. Ananti Gaudiya Vaishnava Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. ISKCON Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Prime Sikho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. Shri Radha Krishna Gopnya Samakun Radhakun Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Shri Vrindavandam Ki Jai. Shri Maya Purnavidam Ki Jai. Gangamaya Ki Jai. Jamunamaya Ki Jai. Tulsi Devi Ki Jai. Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Somaveda Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. Transcendental Book Distribution Ki Jai. Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai. Go Premanandi. All glories some devotees, all glories some devotees, all glories some devotees, all glories, Shishi Guru and Shri Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So this morning we read from the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 13, text number 19. Ata katanchit sa vimukta apada punas cha sartang Pravisati Arindama Advani Amusmin Ajaya Nivesito Brahman Jano Dhyapi Na Niveda Kashtana Atta Katanchit Savimukta Apadaha. Do you do the aha at the end? No? Only on the second and fourth. Okay. Punascha sartang pravasatya rindama advan jamusmin ajayani vesito pramanjano happy naveda kushana Atakachanchin, Atakatanchit sa vimukta apada Punascha sartang pravasatya rindama Advanyamusmin adayali vesito Ramanjano happy naveda kushana Ata katanchit savimukta apada Punascha sartham pravasatya vrindama Advanyamusmin adayali vesito Brahmanjano hapi naveda kasyana Kutanchit savimukta apada Vishal. Ata, from this, katanchit, somehow, sa, he, vimukta, liberated, apada, from the danger, punacha, again, sa'artam, taking interest in that life, pivasati, begins, arimdama, O king, killer of the enemies, advani, on the path of enjoyment, amusmin, that, ajaya, by the influence of the illusory energy, nivesita, being absorbed, brahman, traveling, jana, the conditioned soul, vidyap api, even up to death, naveda, does not understand, Krishna, anything. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada ki. O killer of enemies, Maharaj Rahugana, if the conditioned soul somehow or other gets out of his dangerous position, he again returns to his home to enjoy sex life. For that is the way of attachment. Thus, under the spell of the Lord's material energy, he continues to loiter in the forest of material existence. He does not discover his real interests, even at the point of death. Purport. This is the way of material life. When one is captured by sexual attraction, he becomes implicated in so many ways and cannot understand the real aim of life. Therefore, Srimad Bhagavatam 7.5.31 says, Natevadhu svartha gating hi Vishnu. Generally, people do not understand the ultimate goal of life. As stated in the Vedas, Om Tad Vishnu Paramam Param Sada Pashanti Suryo. Those who are spiritually advanced simply look to the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu. The conditioned soul, however, not being interested in reviving his relationship with Vishnu, becomes captivated by material activities and remains in everlasting bondage, being misled by so-called leaders. Om Jnana Tamanandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chaksuram Militam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah Mukram Kotavatalang Pangam Manghayate Garim Yat Kripataraham Bande Shigarum Dinataranam Vanchakapa Tubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Jaivacha Patitanam Pavanevyo Vaishnavevyo Namo Namah. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Here it's mentioning that the living entity is influenced by the illusory energy. The living entity suffers in so many ways, but still he goes back to that same thing that caused so much suffering, by the influence of the illusory energy. But if one can somehow take shelter of the lotus feet of Krishna, Samasata ye parapalava plavam mahapanam punya somarare bhuvam budhir vatsa param 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 yadvi param natesha. If one can take shelter of the lotus feet of Krishna, one can cross over this vast ocean of material existence. Just as one can very easily cross over the water contained in the hoofprint of a calf. So easy to step over a hoofprint of a calf. So it's that easy if one surrenders to Krishna to cross over this ocean of material existence. Of course, it's not easy to surrender to Krishna. We have our mind and senses going against us. But it's possible. It's possible. And this is the goal of the human form of life, to take shelter of Krishna. Otherwise, we have to take shelter of so many things in this world. Our mind, our senses, foolish people, so many people taking shelter of foolish people, and complete Maya. So better take shelter of Krishna and Krishna's devotees. Otherwise, we have to stay in this world where there's danger at every step. Not only danger at every step, hundreds of people die every year from rolling off their bed. Yeah. Not only is danger at every step, you got to be careful when you roll over. I think Devamrita Swami, he rolled over on the floor off his bed and broke his arm. Yeah, many years ago. Material world's a dangerous place. Hundreds of people die from making toast. Yeah. Yeah, the toast gets stuck in the toaster, and they take their knife, try to get it out, and zapped. Yeah. It's a dangerous place, the material world. How many people die of car accidents? Over 40,000 people a year, just in America. I can't imagine the world. Just in America, every year. Yeah. Yeah. No, the stop signs, they just don't use them. The stop lights, also they don't use them. There's got to be the person there directing traffic. The police has to be, even though there's a light, there's a policeman there directing traffic. So it's a dangerous place. Very dangerous. But that's one of the nice aspects of the spiritual world. There's no danger. No accidents. Here there's so many accidents. Yeah. Just like all of us, I think all of us, we drive. And none of us would expect that you go out and drive, we're going to get in an accident and die. So none of those 40,000 people a year think they're going to go out and die driving down the street. Dangerous place. About 5,000 people die every year from being hit by cars, pedestrian. Many years ago, the Minister of Health here in California, she was walking across the street, car came and hit her. I guess she should have been looking. You got to look when you cross the street. Don't trust these drivers. Right? So yeah, it's a dangerous place. And the greatest danger is forgetting Krishna. This is the world of Maya. So to be Krishna conscious in this world of Maya, that's rare. That's rare. But, again, it's also possible. So here there's a mention of this this verse, Natevatu Swartha Katinki Vishnu. Everybody has different interests in this world. Yeah? The materialists have their materialistic interests, and devotees also, they have their interests. So a devotee actually becomes one with Krishna because his interest is one with Krishna. This is how a devotee becomes one with Krishna, in interest. And what is the interest of Krishna? The interest of Krishna is he wants us to go back home. This is one of his interests. And therefore he comes. Prabhupada even said Krishna is feeling some pain because his parts and parcels are here suffering. It gives him some pain. Therefore he comes to help us. And he sends his pure devotee. In so many ways he comes to help. Just like a father that has some son that has gone off and become degraded and becomes a criminal, gives pain. Gives pain to the father. So Krishna, he's the greatest father, and so many of his parts and parcels are here suffering. Gives pain. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he says, Jeev Jago, Guru Chandra Bole. Wake up, sleeping soul. How long are you going to sleep on the lap of the witch Maya? I have come to give you the medicine which will cure you of this disease of materialism. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So this is why Lord Chaitanya comes, to deliver us from this material existence. So this is the interest of Krishna, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And if we become one with Krishna in this interest, we advance very quickly. Krishna says in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Prana, Artha, Dhya Vacha, Shreya Acharanam Sada, that Krishna says it's the duty of all living entities to perform welfare activities for the benefit of others with their life. That's the prana, we should give our life for the benefit of others. And the best way to give our life to helping others is to give this knowledge out to others. And Prabhupada said, if you want to please me, then distribute books. So this is the best way to please Krishna presently in this Kali Yuga. Because in Prabhupada's books, people get an opportunity to hear about Krishna, to see how beautiful Krishna is. Like when I distribute the Krishna books, now we don't have Bhagavad Gita, so I show the Krishna books, so I show the pictures. People are amazed, so beautiful. People get the books just seeing the pictures. The pictures are so beautiful, especially the Hindus. They show them all the pictures of Krishna, and they love it. So people get a chance to hear the glories of Krishna, see the beauty of Krishna by this book distribution. And we please Krishna by this. We get purified by this activity. And Prabhupada, he wanted everybody to learn the art of book distribution. It's an art. Just like anything, you learn it, you can get, gradually get better and better at it. And it's very pleasing to the soul. Because if we're pleasing Krishna, then the soul must be pleased. Of course, sometimes it's a little difficult, a little bitter in the beginning. This is happiness in the mode of goodness. It's bitter in the beginning and nectar in the end. And it is real nectar. I remember many years ago, I had just been distributing books for maybe 2 or 3 years. And I made a prayer to Krishna. I said, Krishna, even if somehow I'm kicked out of this movement for some stupid thing I do, please allow me to distribute books. One of my early prayers. But somehow Krishna's allowed me to stay in the movement. Everybody's tolerating me, and I'm able to continue distributing books because it's such an ecstatic activity, such a wonderful activity. because it's an activity that you have to be on the spiritual platform. We're interacting with spirit souls, and we're spirit souls, and you get into that consciousness. It's very, very nice. And then the Supreme Soul, Paramatma, is there, observing, appreciating what we're doing. So yeah, we should give our life to this activity. So many people are giving their lives to so many things that are just not so substantial. Just like when they had the World War II, in Japan they had the kamikazes. They'd fill the plane up with bombs, and just the plane became a bomb. They just go in, and that was the bomb. They just go into the enemy and suicide. Yeah. So here, people giving their life to a little island in Pacific Ocean. Give their lives to so many things, ridiculous things. But if we can give our life to Krishna, what a glorious life. Prabhupada said, you chant 16 rounds a day, you follow 4 regular principles, I guarantee you go back home. What to speak if we also distribute books? Yeah. Extra credit. So, yeah, we have to somehow, of course, not everybody can do full-time, but everybody can do some book distribution. Just like Balaram Prabhu here. He sometimes distributes sets. People come to the temple, he distributes sets. Very nice. That's like the atom bomb. There's guns and there's bazookas. And that's like the full set's like the atom bomb. So, prana, artha. Once you give one's wealth, whatever wealth one has, once you give some donation. Of course, the monks here, we don't have any, but people who are living outside, they should give some donation for book distribution. We're always getting books for mass book distribution, so that's one way that they can give their artha, prana, artha, diya, one's intelligence. We have to utilize our intelligence in this book distribution. It's like so many people, when we're distributing books, they come up with different reasons why they don't want a book. So we have to use our intelligence to convince them to take the book. Krishna is known as Diyampati, which means the Lord of Intelligence. So we had to pray to Krishna, Diyampati, to give us the intelligence to convince them to take this knowledge. Yeah. So prana, artha, diya, vacha are words. In book distribution, we're talking all day. Actually, it's so nice. The tendency is, the tendency of the tongue is to speak and to taste. So if you utilize that ability to speak, and just convincing people to take books, what a great way to utilize our speech. Anudvegam karang vakyam satyam priyam vitangchyat swadvibhyasanam chaiva vanmayam tapushite. There's 5 austerities of speech. To speak that which is not agitating to others. Just like sometimes on book distribution, someone might say something to us, something that might agitate us, but we control our tongue, tolerate. It's another thing about book distribution. We learn to tolerate. It's so important, tolerance and forgiving. Just like Jesus, what he said, that we hate the sin, not the sinner. It's like sometimes people may say something, not very nice. Our false ego might be offended. But we understand that it's just It's just a false ego. It's false egos coming out. They're the soul within. So we tolerate and we forgive. Anudvegam karandakyam satyam, to speak that which is truthful. And we're given the highest truth. There's relative truths and there's absolute truth. So we're given the absolute truth. Satyam priyam, speak that which is pleasing. Therefore we have to have very good morning program, good sadhana. If we have good sadhana, then we get purified. And then if we're pure, actually Prabhupada said that if one is practicing Krishna consciousness for 12 years, then whatever he says, then people will appreciate. Yeah. There'll be Shakti there. Yeah. So by this practice of sadhana bhakti, whatever comes out of our mouth is pleasing. People appreciate it by this connection with Krishna. Srila Prabhupada, he once wrote to a sannyasi, our only motto is read and distribute books. And he said, if you do that, if you read these books, you'll be happy. And if you distribute books, you'll remain happy. Because it's such a joyful activity. And what did Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur say? If you have life, then preach. And Prabhupada, he continued that a dead man can't preach. So if we have life, then somehow we should make some endeavor, some way to distribute books. Like you probably have some friends at school, you can bring some little POIs and give some books to your friends, right? Yeah. Our Balaram Prabhu, he became a devotee from that little book. Yeah. A small book, very powerful. Very powerful. So yeah, everybody should do some type of book distribution. And this will be very pleasing to Krishna. So this verse, prana artha dhya vacha shreya acharanam sada. So shreya means ultimate benefit. So we're trying to give the ultimate benefit to the people. Receiving Prabhupada's books and understanding. This way they understand what is the goal of life. Why am I here? What happens at the time of death? So they get the ultimate benefit by hearing about Krishna. And then there's prayas. There's shreyas and prayas. Prayas means immediate benefit. Just like children. They don't want to go to school. What do they want to do? They just want to play all day long. And they got a ton of energy to play. No one wants to go to school when you're a kid. Like Prabhupada said they had to get, 3 or 4 men come to take him to school. He wouldn't want to go. He didn't want to go. So they just want to play. And Krishna also. Krishna's playing with his friends. And Mother Yasoda and Rohini, they come. Come, Krishna. We're going to take food with your... Take food, come on. And they wouldn't go. They wouldn't go. Actually, first Rohini went, and they wouldn't listen to Rohini. So he went to Yasoda, they'll listen to you, please. Come on. Get the boys. And even they wouldn't go when Yasoda called them. But then she said, your father is waiting. And then Krishna said, oh, we got to go. Come on, let's go. we can't make our father wait. But then the boys, they complain, no, come on, Krishna, you can't leave now. This is we're on the highest level of our play. You can't leave now. Come on, otherwise you're not going to play with us anymore. And then Krishna got worried. Oh no, he can't. But then Yasoda called him. So Krishna also, he likes to play. And in the spiritual world, it's all just play. no work. Here you got to work and you got to play. Mostly work. People are working a lot. Spiritual world is just play. Vaikuntha, no anxiety. Yeah. So people want this. Actually, the whole world practically consists of people that are interested in prayas, right? Immediate benefit. They're not thinking of any ultimate goal. Just immediate pleasure. Prabhupada gives a story of a sadhu who went to one kingdom, and he's doing some preaching. And the king there heard about this, and he told the secretary, hey, let's go hear some wise words from this sadhu that's come to our kingdom. So they're sitting there listening to this sadhu speak. And as he's speaking, he says, the prince should not die. The brahmachari, he should die immediately. The sadhu, the pure devotee, can live or die. And the butcher, don't live or die. And then after the discourse, the king and secretary, they're going back to his palace, and he asked the secretary, can you explain what he meant about this? About the prince, he should not die. Brahmachari, die immediately. The pure devotee, live or die. Butcher, don't live or die. He said, yes, the prince, because he's living a very licentious life, just in sense gratification, basically just live to gratify the senses. But he doesn't know that at the time of death, he'll have to suffer so much for his sinful activities. So better not die. So that's pretty much the situation that everybody in this world, don't die. Because there's a surprise coming your direction. They don't know. The brahmachari, he said, the brahmachari, he's doing so much austerity and he's purified, but he can also be swayed by Maya, so better die immediately. Krishna todiya parapankaja pancharatram adhyaiva meva satumanasa rajahangsa prana payana samaye kapavata vitae kantava rodinavadhaus madanam kutaste. Then he says this King Kulashekar, he says, please, my dear Lord, take my life. May my mind immediately get locked up within the network of the lotus feet of Krishna. Just as the swan, they like to wrap their neck around the stem of the lotus. Otherwise, if I wait till the end of my life, when my throat is choked up and my mind is weak, how will it be possible for me to think of you and to chant your names? Krishna tudiya padapankaja pancharatram, please take me immediately. This is a prayer of a great devotee, King Kulashekar. So the brahmachari is like that. So rather than take a chance, of course, not that we should commit suicide or anything. And then the pure devotee, he could live or die because he's living a pure life now, and because he's so pure, at the time of death, he's going to think of Krishna, he's going to go back to Krishna. Iha yasya harer darsye karmana manasagira nikilas papidasyasu jivan mukta suuchyate. Anybody who engages their mind, body, and words in the service of Krishna is liberated even within this very lifetime. And at the end of this life, he goes back to Krishna. So this is the pure devotee. Thinking of Krishna throughout his life, and then goes back to Krishna. Yanghina vyatiyantyete purusang purusarsabha samaduka sukham. No. Yam yam vapi smaram bhavam tajachanti kaleram tam tam evaita konte sadasa dhava bhavita. That whatever state of being one remembers when he quits his body, that state he will attain without fail. So our life kind of flashes before us. Whatever we've been attached to throughout our life, that's what flashes before us. So we have to learn to become attached to Krishna. Then, back home, back to Godhead. And the butcher, he's living such a horrible life right now. Killing animals, killing cows. Horrible, horrible life. Can't imagine. And then when he dies, the Yamadutas really going to do a number on him. So, better try to become a pure devotee of Krishna. This is the best route to take. This bhakti marg, the path of bhakti. Otherwise, we have to stay in this path of sense gratification and suffer. So, on that note, any question or comment or correction?
I have a little comment. Thank you very much for the class. Sometimes when you distribute books, you meet people who are like a little, they have doubts, whether they should take a book or not.
No.
So, never. I've heard that in class that sometimes what helps is you just got to put the book in their hands and wait until they get enough pious credit. Just wait a little bit, and then kind of speak with them more. Ask questions, and then suggest the book and ask for donation. And oftentimes it actually works. People take books.
That's interesting that you say. I've been distributing books for 44 years, and I never heard that before. But it makes sense. They're holding the book, they get purified. Prabhupada said they just touch the book, they benefit. I always hand the book to them. When I distribute books, I always hand it to them. Yeah, they get purified. Yeah, but I never thought of that. That's good. Yeah, hand it to them, then keep a conversation going. The more the book's in their hand, the more they get purified, and eventually, that's another thing also with prasadam. Sometimes people are doubtful of devotees. They distribute books sometimes at factories and stuff, and they go to the head person at the factory and try to distribute some set or some books to them. And they're negative, and then they give them some prasadam, and then they say, "All right." Prasadam also is a secret weapon. Prabhupada said our secret weapon. So a lot of times people change their minds upon receiving prasadam. There's one amazing incident where a devotee was doing this. He was going factory to factory. And he spoke to the CEO of this company in India. And somehow he got, it's hard sometimes to get into the office. Yeah. So he got into the office and he was agitated. And he said, "How did you get in here?" And, "No, I have these books, the Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Purana." No, I'm not interested. He said, No, this is knowledge by which you can become elevated spiritually. No, I'm not interested. So he was just not into it from the beginning. So, but he said, "Well, anyway, take some prasadam here, and here's my card." So the devotee gave him the card, and he gave him some prasadam. He said, "All right, yeah, get out of here." Yeah. So then 2 days later, he gets a call, and this CEO is on the phone. "Hey, where are you? Where are you?" I'm still in town here. Oh, you have to come to my office. Immediately, come to my office. He said, all right, I'll be there in a minute. So he goes there. He said, show me those books again. Showing him the books. And do you have any more of those cookies? He said, yeah, I have more. He said, I've been having such a hard time with my wife. For the past 5 years, I haven't been able to please her. 5 years. I gave her these cookies you gave me, and she loved them. She wanted more cookies. The first time I pleased her in 5 years. And actually, the devotee had also given him a picture of the deities at, I think, Chapati. And she loved the picture of the deities also. So he pleased her twice. One day, he was so happy. So he said, all right, I'll buy all your books and give me those cookies. Prasadam, right? She liked that prasadam. And actually, in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna, he says, if one performs a sacrifice in which a mantra is not chanted, some sacred mantra is not chanted, and prasadam is not given, it's sacrifice in the mode of ignorance. It's amazing. So if I say he goes by the book, you know. So he always has prasadam, you know, lollipops. That's the thing, lollipops. And he gets them to chant. He says, do you believe in the power of prayer? And he gets them to chant. Of course, sometimes they say no, I guess. And they don't. But this is America. You know. Give the mic to Balaram.
I think he says at that point, do you believe in the power of prayer? And then sometimes, most of the times they say yes, but sometimes they say no. He goes, okay, good. This is a mantra. This is a chant, you know, different. So.
And then he gets into chant. He's unbelievable. He's such an amazing devotee. So,
whenever somebody walks away not taking a book, I always say Hare Krishna, just like a.
Oh, really? You always say Hare Krishna as they're walking away?
Try to say.
Oh, very nice. Yeah, they get to hear the holy name. Yeah, very good. Sometimes we're on Harinam, and people don't want to hear the holy name. And as we're going by, they put their fingers in their ears. Not good. That means that in their next life, Krishna's going to fulfill the desire, and they have to be in a place where they can't hear the holy name. You know, someplace like China or something. You know. Huh? May not have ears at all. Yeah, some people can't hear. Yes. Govardhan Prabhu.
You were talking about convincing people. Sometimes I'll try different lines, and I'll ask people, what do you do? They'll tell me, oh, this is my occupation. And they ask me, what about you? And I tell them, I have a very difficult job. So they say, what is it? And I tell them, I have to convince all these people that they need this book. And I'll start laughing.
Good. He got good lines. Eh?
Always laugh, you know. And I say, here, you should check it out. And then they kind of repeat it, and then they get it.
Very good. See? Dyampati, he's connected. Dyampati. The Lord of intelligence. Krishna's given him intelligence. Very good. Yes.
You mentioned when we speak to people that we should talk to them, not to agitate them or to antagonize them. But at the same time, if we're also speaking truth, which is what we're meant to do, doesn't the truth inevitably agitate people if it really is?
Yes, good question. Sometimes the truth agitates people, right? So it has to be, we have to speak in such a way that it's pleasing. It's an art. Preaching is an art, how to speak in a way to even atheists. Like when I speak to atheists, I mean, they don't want to hear about God. So I tell them, you've heard this before, but it's nice to hear again. I tell them, well, you know, there's a lot of things you don't know. You agree? Yeah. I tell them there's billions of things you don't know that I don't know. So one of the things you don't know is whether there's a God or not. And they have to admit it. One guy he angrily admitted it because he just, he had to accept. It's true. But sometimes when you're preaching, because people are atheistic and they're impious, they won't be pleased. So sometimes that is there. We're not going to be able to please. It's like they have that saying: you could please some of the people all the time, and all the people some of the time. You can't please all the people all the time. So that's not possible. Devotee Prabhu, yes.
Okay, sure.
Okay.
Just in reference to the atheist thing, it brings to mind this interesting linguistic feature in Bengali, maybe Sanskrit. You have this Nastika. That's also Sanskrit, right? Nastic. Nastic means not Nastika. Yeah. These are unbelievers. These are. It means there is not asti doesn't exist. That's what Gnostic means. So
Astika means
that God doesn't exist.
Okay,
it's a word for atheist. So Prabhupada would, in working on the books, I say, well, sometimes you see that word in the Bengali and it comes out as agnostic in the translation.
Mm-hmm.
I don't change it or anything. But the thing is the critical difference between agnostic and atheist. An atheist is someone who thinks he knows absolutely that there's no God and is ready to preach and write books and make movements on it. In other words, he's completely an illusion. But most people, I was agnostic. You're telling people, no, you say there's no God, but you see, you don't know for sure whether there's a God. And
yeah.
And that really brings them to the point of, say, well, then maybe you can, get exposed to something like his book, where you'll actually see that, that it makes sense that there's a God.
Yeah.
So bringing him from atheist is chapter 16. These are the ones, and it says Jagat Arhu Anishudam. They declare that there's no God. It's not that they're walking around, that they declare they're in a movement. So it's important to differentiate. I was agnostic. We were all agnostic. And if you're a little curious, you meet the devotees, you read a book, and you say, "Oh, it makes sense that there's a God, or maybe there is a God." Go from there.
Well, and they're proud of being atheists, And if you bring them down from that, it's degrading. It's like bringing down from the Uttama, Madhyama. Yes.
Thank you. Second question. You said it's in this age, Kali Yuga, even without Kali Yuga regular, it's very rare for someone to be in the state of Krishna consciousness. How much would you say in the movement are in the state of Krishna consciousness and the others are trying to obtain or try to get to there? What are the percentage differences?
I didn't get to come. Give it.
Repeat it?
Your voice is very low. Give it to Devita. You understand? Give it to Devita.
He's got a low voice, but he has a super low voice. He quoted you as saying it's rare for people to be Krishna conscious in this age, which is obviously true.
Yeah.
And his question was, well, how many people do you think who are in the movement are actually Krishna conscious? Means, I guess, 100%.
Yeah. So anybody that's in the movement, Krishna consciousness movement, there's some level of Krishna consciousness, but what that level is, we don't know. But Phalena Parachiyate, judged by the results. Just like we have Dravida Prabhu here. Sorry, Dravida. He's been practicing Krishna consciousness for almost 50 years. Almost 50 years. And he's very happily engaged in Krishna consciousness and inspires others. So here's an example. And yeah, you judge by the results. You'll see that the people that are happily engaged in Krishna consciousness, they're getting something. They're getting some nice reciprocation from Krishna. So, okay? You're welcome. Okay, anything else? Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki. Yeah.